Welcome to this course on comparative education. Today, we are focusing on educational planning, a key area for understanding how education systems are designed, managed, and improved in different countries. Comparative education is often seen as the study of how education systems differ between nations, but it also examines why those differences exist and what lessons can be drawn from one country to another. Educational planning is one of the most practical aspects of this field because it transforms policy aspirations into concrete, achievable actions. Let's begin by exploring what educational planning is, its scope, and the basic analytical tools that underpin it. 1. Nature of educational planning. Educational planning is the deliberate process of setting out goals for an education system and then identifying the most efficient and effective way to achieve them. It's essentially a bridge between educational policy and classroom practice. Without planning, even the best educational policies can fail because there is no structured path to turn ideas into reality. Example. Imagine a government decides to implement free secondary education. Without planning, they might announce the policy without calculating whether there are enough classrooms, teachers, or textbooks. The result could be overcrowded schools, underprepared teachers, and a decline in learning quality. Proper planning would have anticipated these needs and set out strategies to meet them. 2. Scope of educational planning. The scope of educational planning is broad and touches on many levels. National level, deciding how resources are allocated among primary, secondary, and tertiary education. Regional or district level, determining where new schools should be located and how they should be staffed. Institutional level, planning the curriculum, timetable, and teacher assignments within a school. It also includes planning for curriculum changes, teacher recruitment and training, infrastructure expansion, special needs education, educational technology integration, real-world illustration. In Finland, long-term national education planning is integrated with social welfare planning. This ensures that new housing development automatically include provisions for schools, playgrounds, and community learning centers. 3. Review of mathematical groundwork, in words, not symbols. Educational planning often uses statistical and mathematical tools, but for this lecture, we'll express them conceptually rather than as formulas. These concepts help planners make sense of education system data. 3.1 Proportions. A proportion is a way of comparing part of something to the whole. In education, this might be the proportion of students in urban areas compared to rural areas, or the proportion of the education budget allocated to teacher salaries versus infrastructure. Example. If out of every 100 students in a region, 60 are in primary school, 30 are in secondary, and 10 are in tertiary, these proportions help planners see where most resources are being consumed and where attention may be needed. 3.2 Ratios. Ratios compare one quantity directly to another. In educational planning, a common ratio is the pupil-teacher ratio, which compares the number of students to the number of teachers. Example. If a school has 600 students and 20 teachers, the ratio is 30 students per teacher. A high ratio might indicate overcrowded classrooms and strain on teachers. 3.3 Rates of change. Rates of change describe how fast something is increasing or decreasing over time. In education, planners might look at the rate at which student enrollment is growing, or how quickly dropout rates are falling. Example. If enrollment in girls' secondary education increases by 5% each year, planners can project future numbers and prepare accordingly. 4. Studying the distribution of enrollment. Understanding where students are located and how they are spread across grades, regions, and school types is essential. This distribution influences decisions about building schools, recruiting teachers, and supplying materials. 4.1 Geographic distribution. Planners examine how many students live in different areas and whether schools are conveniently located. Example. In a mountainous region of Nepal, children may walk several kilometers to reach school. Mapping enrollment distribution helps identify where new schools or transport services are needed. 4.2 Grade distribution. This involves checking how many students are in each grade level. Sudden drops between grades may signal high dropout rates or barriers to progression. Example. If grade 1 has 1,000 students but grade 2 has only 600, planners must investigate why 400 students are missing, perhaps due to poor teaching quality, family economic pressures, or lack of interest. 4.3 Gender distribution. Comparing male and female enrollment can highlight gender disparities. In some societies, cultural factors may limit girls' attendance, requiring targeted interventions. Example: in parts of rural Pakistan, community-based girls' schools staffed by female teachers have been created to increase girls' participation. 4.4 Socioeconomic distribution. Students from wealthier families may be concentrated in certain schools, while disadvantaged children attend under-resourced ones. Planners must address such inequalities to ensure fairness in education access. We have covered the nature and scope of educational planning, the importance of proportional analysis, ratios, and rates of change in planning, the study of enrollment distribution by location, grade, gender, and socioeconomic background. In Module 2, we will go deeper into demographic considerations, target enrollment projections, wastage and progression rates, teaching force planning, and designing staffing models.